Happy New Year and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Joe.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Sean, and we're bringing you movie reviews with a twist.
And today we're going to take a look at the remake of We Are What We Are. Hello and welcome to Season 2 of ChapterSkip as we delve into whatever delights and disappointments 2014 has in store for us.
And to get us back into the swing of things, we're going to kick off the new year with a review of the 2013 remake of We Are What We Are.
Yes, we said remake.
Now, for anyone that's watched us before, you'll know full well that Mark isn't exactly a fan of remakes, so this should be an interesting review to start off the new year. And I, for one, am looking forward to hearing Mark's thoughts later on.
We Are What We Are is a remake of the 2010 film which has the same name,
which comes from Mexican director Jorge Miguel Grau. This version of the movie is directed by Jim Mickle, whose previous works include Mulberry Street and Stakeland, which he also wrote and edited. The movie is available on DVD and Blu-ray in the States right now, and it has a March the 3rd release date here in the UK.
The story is based around a family called the Parkers,
who are seemingly a normal family on the outside. However, behind closed doors, they are far from normal. The Parkers have an ancient custom that they follow in order to keep their strange family tradition alive. And after the death of their mother, it is down to the next in line to follow in her footsteps.
Interestingly though, the mother is played by Cassie Wesley de Pavia, who played the role of Bobby Joe in Evil Dead 2.
Now back to the plot. And the Parker family are now dealing with this tragedy in their life, with the dad, Frank, played by Bill Sage, now looking after his 3 children on his own.
And his children consist of his 2 daughters, Iris and Rose,
who are played by Amber Childers and Julia Garner, and his son Rory, who's played by Jack Gore. Amber Childers has previously starred in Gangster Squad, The Master, and most recently, Two Guns. And you might just recognise Julia Garner from movies such as The Perks of Being a Wallflower and The Last Exorcism Part 2. She's also set to star in the new Sin City movie that comes out this year.
Whilst Frank is trying to prepare his family for something secretive and highly illegal, other things are happening in the town, as the local doctor,
played by the awesome Michael Parks,
finds some bones washed up from a storm. Bones that he thinks may actually be human remains.
Now, having also done the autopsy on Mama Parker, Doc notices a few strange things about her condition, and along with that bone from the creek, he puts 2 and 2 together and figures out that the seemingly normal family are in fact cannibals.
At least, I think that's what's going on. It's a little hard to tell at times, as the characters do seem to spend most of the time speaking in a sort of hushed, grumbly whisper.
A very large taco and yeah, I've got the burnt one here. I've got range.
Guys, what are you doing?
It's a private conversation. Do you mind?
Oh, okay.
So, let me get the flag up and down. Make sure we got to the costume. Yeah, we've got to the costume, so I said I'll run around with more. We want video those cons on those. Yeah, it's really looking forward to me when it comes out this year. It's gonna be...
Guys, what's going on?
Go away, Mac, this doesn't concern you.
Okay.
Anyway, managed to get George Lucas on Skype. Yeah, when he was on the call and got it on, so that was very cool. And it was really nice and okay.
Oh, Joe. Oh my God!
Someone mentioned Morgan Freeman.
Now you've ruined it, Mark. Joe and I were planning a birthday surprise for you. We had a Care Bear shooting range, we had Michelle Rodriguez jumping out of a taco, Joe was going to dress up in a Godzilla outfit, we were going to have George Lucas apologising for the Star Wars prequels, and we were going to have Morgan Freeman narrating your birthday. Now you get nothing.
Such a knob, Mark.
If you bloody mean about it, and they could have just said to me that you just mentioned business now. I mean, I'd quite like to see Michelle Rodriguez jumping over taco. If I'm honest about it, I'd quite like to jump into her taco.
Personally, I can't say whether this movie lives up to the original, because I've not seen it, but if I'm judging this as a standalone film, then I'm really impressed with the way that it turned out.
For me, other than the grumbled dialogue, the acting was pretty good, but I did however have one very major problem with the movie, and that was the pacing. Maybe my opinion is coloured by the fact that I quite like the original film, which, despite its slow pace, it managed to keep things intriguing and it kept me interested in the plot. This, however, just slowly meandered around, seemingly going nowhere, and combining that with the mumbly dialogue means that for me, the film was like watching a cantankerous, geriatric snail slowly creeping about his business, whilst lost, and grumbling constantly.
I thought the movie had an interesting story which kept the viewer involved and built to that unexpected climax at the end. I also really liked the look and feel of the film too. It had a very dark, saturated look which lent really well to the creepy vibe that was given off. As a contrast to Mark's opinion, I thought it was well paced, and I liked that it swings your view of the family back and forth. Well, I say family, I really mean the two girls, because throughout the film, the father was tyrannical and overbearing to the extent that you can't really like him at all.
As for the characters in the movie, well, like I said, they're all well acted, although they aren't necessarily well written. Michael Parks' character, the Doctor, being a good example. Michael Parks played the role really well, but I'm not too sure about his character's ability to be a medical practitioner. He does, after all, decide that, right after bashing someone around the head with a pan, that the best way to tell if they're conscious or even alive is to merely glance at them.
No wonder his prognosis was wrong.
Then, of course, the good doctor deduces that the people he's known for many, many years now are actually fine young cannibals by using the tried and trusted detective reasoning that is known as flicking through the pages of a book.
Right guys, who wants a lovely cup of tea?
Sounds good to me, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Joe.
Back in a jiffy!
Right. So we're using tea as a plot device again this season?
Yeah. By the way, don't you find it weird that Joe exploded last year, and now he's here just walking about like nothing happened?
Now that you mention it, that is pretty weird. I'll look it up, see if I can find something out.
What the hell does that mean?
Isn't it obvious? The explosion caused Joe's penis to land in the toaster, and the electrical surge from the toaster regenerated him.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
The pace does pick up slightly towards the end of the movie.
But then I encountered yet another problem. You see, the movie was advertised at it,
Withholds its greatest shock for the end.
and I was originally all for that, as despite how much I liked the original movie, the ending was very inconclusive. The problem here though is that, without spoiling anything of the plot, what happened at the end just seemed completely out of character when you take into account what those characters' goals actually were. So that whilst one part of my brain was saying, "Ooh, that's pretty cool," another part jumped up and said, "No, it's not. It's silly and makes no sense."
For me, one of the main problems I had with the film was the fact that the family, and most importantly the father, didn't really need to be so deeply religious. I felt it would have been better to have the cannibalistic tradition at the forefront rather than him spouting on about God. I felt it took away the focus of their heritage and made him come across as a bumbling religious nut rather than a strange human muncher.
The whole reason behind why they did what they did in We Are What We Are just didn't work for me, I'm afraid. I really don't think that just because our ancestors did it is a good enough explanation for the proceedings, and that despite its lack of explanation, the original is the far superior movie.
I like the glum, range-wrenched atmosphere of this film. Yes, it was slow-paced at times, but it set it up for a brilliant ending, from a great cast of characters.
I felt that this movie defeated all of my expectations, and apart from a few minor quibbles, this was a pretty marvellous movie. I can see that it may not appeal to a large audience, but I think anyone that likes a decent, well-paced horror thriller film that keeps you intrigued throughout the picture will get a kick out of watching this.
Well, there's no surprise here for you, as this is yet another remake that, for me, just didn't cut the mustard. And although I didn't hate the movie, and I don't think it was especially awful, I still found it slow and ponderous and dull. And I think I would have had a much more enjoyable experience if, rather than watching this, I instead decided to try and iron the wrinkles out of my scrotum.
Thanks for watching this movie review for We Are What We Are. You've heard what we have to say about the film, and now it's your turn. leave a comment down below or post your thoughts to our Facebook page. You can even tweet an opinion to us on Twitter. Remember to use hashtag ChapterSkip. And if you found this review informative, helpful or entertaining, then please show support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Thanks.
Hello and happy... Oh, good.
We're off to a good start this year.
We Are What We Are is a 2010 remake of the film What Is a
No, it's not. It's a bit hard to tell at times, as the characters do send us
Personally, I can't say whether this movie lives up to the original because
You can't say
I've
it.
not seen it, but
bashing someone around the head with a frying pan. It probably wasn't.
He had a little...
it might not have been a frying pan.
It might not have been a
It may
frying
have been
pan.
a wok.
Could have been a saucepan.
Yeah.